Hello guys, and now we are going to see about the concept in white for Sicilian. As you can see, the position in the board this is one of the typical positions of Sicilian opening, and in this position what I'm going to uh, aim about is the e6 point, hammering the e6 point. So as you can see, the bishop and the f pawn both are hammering the e6 point, and everywhere but especially in the bishop c4 lines. The e6 pawn is a potential weakness that white can place under heavy fire. If black is forced to play e6 to e5, white will obtain control over the d5 square. So this is what I want to say about this position. So I wanted to highlight this position separately so that I made this position. So next I'll be showing you another concept for white, and I'll be constructing the position. Just a moment. And here the pawns on e4, f5, and the difference between the last position and this is the black pawn is on e5 instead of e6 and d6, and here there is weakness on the d5 square. So as you can see, the c3 pawn closes the c file. So this is a typical position in the Sicilian, and bishop on e7, and this is the position I want to highlight. In this particular position, white has a monstrous knight against black's bad bishop on e7. Should white somehow obtain this kind of position, his game is practically positionally won. Uh, so sometimes what could happen is, in this kind of same position, there may be the queen, a little different position I'll show. The king castled on the queen side, the rook on h1 and bishop on f1, and knight would be on e3, and there will be no knight on no knight here. So these pawns would be on f3, g4, and knight here, and this rook here. So guys, I'm showing you all this position to highlight some key ideas in the Sicilian opening. So as you can see, in this position, in this particular position, white has actually sacrificed a pawn. but due to the light square blockade, he is the one um, making use of the most important central squares. Black's position here is worse because he additionally suffers from a bad bishop. So here what can we do is we can put the bishop on c4 and the knight on d5. So I'll be showing you another position, and mm, just a moment. So I'll be constructing it, a rook on d8 and c8, and the pawns on b7 a6 and queen on c6, and the knight on d7 and f6, pawn on d6 and e5, and pawns here, and the king castled, bishop on e7, and the other knight squared bishop on c4, and now the knights on b3, c3, pawn on c2, b2, and rook on a1 and d1, and queen on e1, and there's a central pawn on e4, the bishops on e3 and f3, and the pawn cover for the king. So and another pawn on a5. So this is the position, guys. This is the position which I want to highlight, and in many Sicilian positions such as this one, the b3 knight is a weak link for white, left far from the action, and especially from the d5 square. It must sometimes seek creative means of re-entering the battle for the center. Two routes especially worth trying is from b3 it can go to c1, then a2, then to b4, then to d5, and the other route it can go is from b3 to d2 and to f1 and to e3 and d5. It is important to understand the various circumstances under which such long rerouting can be considered or even be optimal solution. So guys, I am showing you all these typical positions, and I will be showing you model games and classic games played by the world champions. So that's why I am showing you all these concepts. There are still many concepts in the Sicilian. I am showing you all these concepts to to know about this opening, because you need not learn lot of theory. If you know these concepts, it will be easy for you to remember the moves and theory. So I'll be meeting you in the next video with the concepts for black. Thank you all.